Day 166, and last week I was home and I was thinking about an upcoming, I guess, event, you can call it. My wife schedules these trips to her old college roommate's house. So we go up and visit one of her old college roommates and her husband and daughter pretty much annually around this time of year. And so a couple weeks ago, she scheduled us to go up this weekend. And so last week I was at home and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about going, and I was like it's not really super excited to go. Um, they're nice people, but it's more of like her, it's more for her, like where she's just kind of hanging out with her friend, and then my daughter is hanging out with their daughter. And, the husband, he's a nice guy, but we don't really have that much in common. And he doesn't really, not really that into sports. And I was thinking to myself, like, I love college football, and I'm not really going to get to watch college football. There's a Halloween parade up there that we'll be going to. And most of the time, I don't get to watch college football anyway because we're busy on Saturdays. But, if I go up there, I'm probably not going to get to watch any. And so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what's more exciting? What sounds more exciting to me? Going there or staying at home and having an entire day to just watch college football? And it was an absolute no-brainer in terms of excitement. And so now it's just kind of having that conversation with my wife, because in the past, as you know, things have drastically changed over the last, I guess, 6 months, five. Yeah, I guess it's been 6 months now. Things have drastically changed in terms of what we can now talk about that once used to create all kinds of resistance in our lives. And this would be one of them, where it would be like I would bring this up, like, why don't you just go? And then it would like, and then she would kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, whether you're a guy or a girl, where your partner kind of makes you feel guilty. And, you know, she would do that like unknowingly. I don't think she was doing it on purpose, but she would just be like one of those, like, oh, I love when we're together. I want you to see my friends. I love spending time with you. And why don't you want to go? And so I knew that conversation was coming. And so I looked at it from a different perspective. I wanted to create it not only, the number one reason is I want to go because it's more exciting for me to stay at home and watch college football. But I got to bring more than that to the table in order to sell it and make her understand my perspective. And so we were going to be waking up the next morning and rushing back for the 1 o'clock Eagles game. As you know, I'm a big Eagles fan, and I see every snap of every game if I can help it. And so it's a 2.5, 3 hour ride up to where they live. And so we would have to be rushing out probably 9, 10 o'clock the next morning. So basically, we'd only get to spend Saturday there. And so I thought about that aspect, and I was like, okay, I can bring that up. Now she won't have to rush back. Like, she likes the Eagles too, but she's not going to be rushing back to get back. She doesn't care if she misses the first half or whatever. If she's here, she'll watch it. And so I brought that up, and I'm like, plus you'll get to spend more time with them. You won't have to rush out the next morning. And also, on top of that, we have a dog. And so we were going to have to ask somebody to cover for the dog, to show up, walk him, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, that would take care of that as well. And so there was still like, she was still like kind of caught off guard. But I also, at the same time, I made sure that I talked to her a week in advance. I talked to her about this on Friday night. We wouldn't be going until leaving this Saturday morning. And so that's another mistake that I used to make in the past is I would wait till like a day or two before we were supposed to go, and I try and have this conversation, and it'd be a lot tougher then. Okay, especially when people are expecting you to come, and then you got to let them know last minute. If you've ever been on the other end of that, it's not a great feeling when that happens. And so, but I wasn't thinking of this. I didn't start thinking about this on purpose. This is from being present, and my subconscious mind, higher mind, whatever you want to call it, started sending me these images and these ideas of, hey, are you sure this is the most exciting thing that you could be doing with your time? Sure, I love my wife. Sure, I love my daughter. I want to spend all the time I can with them. But at the same time, like I said, she's going to be occupied catching up with her friend. My daughter she's going to be playing with, their little girl. And it's going to be kind of me just kind of hanging out and just there whenever, they want to talk to me, kind of thing. So the reason why I'm sharing this is that you've seen undoubtedly countless movies or TV shows with a similar situation where spouses, better halves will just kind of suck it up and just take one for the team because they feel like that's the right thing to do or that they have to. And then they'll go and talk to their boys, or, the woman will go talk to her girls and say, oh, I got to do this thing. And it's almost like makes you resent your partner a little bit when you feel like you're forced to do these things, when in reality, the only one forcing you to do it is you. When you're making a choice not to have an uncomfortable conversation because of whatever reason, because of the emotions that could be involved, you're making a choice not to be assertive and not to communicate to someone that you'd rather be doing something else because you're concerned about how they're going to feel about it. And so you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I'm the creator of my reality, and then at the same time be worried about how other people are going to respond or react to you when you make certain decisions. And so that's all I'm saying here. I'm giving you an example of what happens when you're falling asleep in the wish fulfilled. You're doing these techniques, you're falling asleep with headphones on, listening to affirmations, you're staying present as much as you can. It's a process, but it's just like anything else. If you keep at it, you get better and better and better. And then you connect to the ideas that come down to you. And then you know how to handle these situations. You just know. Because I've had this opportunity all throughout my life. And I've always handled it the wrong way. This way I handled it, guess what? I left the conversation on Saturday night, and she was like, she didn't know. And I was like, you know what? I said, let's just sleep on it. I let it go. Even when I came up with all of those things, win-win situation, The next morning, I came down for coffee, and she said, I already texted her friend and told her that it's just going to be Peyton and I. And then another on top of that is that now my wife and daughter actually get to stay at their house and spend more time with them. We were going to get a hotel. So now it's not only win-win, it's win-win for her. And it wouldn't have been like that had I just thought, you know what? It's the right thing to do. I have to go. I don't want to have this conversation because of the past me. That's not me anymore. I'm different. You're changing all the time. That's what it means to level up. When you level up, you're no longer this person. You leveled up. You're a different person altogether. That's why sometimes it's hard for me to talk to people that I haven't talked to in a while because I'm moving so quickly up the scale. And it's like, and they know me as that person. And then it's like, you have to remind them, like, whoa, I know that's who I was, but that's not me anymore. So, I hope that helps in some way. Lions Den, 4 people checked in last night. Brent, Kate, Shadow Flare, and Nora, all falling asleep in the wish fulfilled, all staying consistent, all changing their lives. Day 166 in the books. I'll see you tomorrow, day 167. Enjoy your night.